Hey guys, last week we talked about the basic needs of plants and animals. This week we're going to look at the environmental effects on plants and animals. Different environmental factors can affect the growth and behavior of many living things. Dormancy in plants can be caused by decreased rainfall, temperature changes, or changes in daylight hours. Migration and dormancy or hibernation in animals can be caused by changes in temperature, precipitation, or daylight hours. Some of the vocabulary to know in the top left is dormancy, resting for a long time. In the bottom left is behavior, the actions of a living thing. In the top right is hibernation, when an animal goes into a deep sleep for a long amount of time. In the bottom right is environment, the space and all the living and non-living things around an organism. We also have growth in the top left, increase in size or number. In the bottom left, we have migration, the long distance movement of animals from one place to another. In the top right, we have temperature, how hot or cold something is. And in the bottom right, we have precipitation, which is rain, snow, sleet, and hail. Environmental factors can affect the growth and behavior of living things. Environments are made up of living and non-living things. A combination of organisms, landforms, weather, and climate make up an environment. Nature can alter the landscape and impact the environment, changing the delicate balance of an environment. All organisms sense and respond to the daily and seasonal changes in their environment. Non-living elements in an environment can change rapidly, and many organisms cannot respond to these extremes and will perish. When water, temperature, and sunlight change more slowly on a daily or seasonal basis, animals and plants have more successful responses in how they grow and behave. Some examples to look at are like cold-blooded reptiles can respond to daily temperature changes by sunning on a warm rock. Some warm-blooded mammals respond to daily temperature changes by cooling in mud or warming in a burrow. Many plants respond to sunlight by growing toward the direction of the sun. Some cacti respond to infrequent rainfall by blooming shortly after a storm. Season changes can bring an increase in activity in food storage or storage of body fat to prepare for winter. Now we're going to look at dormancy in plants can be caused by decreased rainfall, temperature changes, or changes in daylight hours. Unlike animals that can move toward or away from environmental changes, plants are stationary and must respond differently to such changes. Seasonal changes in temperature, rainfall, and sunlight signal chemical changes in the plant kingdom. Some trees or plants respond to cooler temperatures, decreased sunlight, and rainfall by shutting down photosynthesis in their leaves. This causes leaves to change color and drop off during the fall. During the fall and winter dormancy period of inactivity, it helps plants conserve water and energy to survive during these environmental extremes. In response to the return of warmer weather, more sunlight, and rainfall during the spring, many plants cease being dormant, sprout new leaves, and then bloom. You have a little example there in the corner. Migration, dormancy, and hibernation in animals can be caused by changes in temperature, precipitation, or daylight hours. So as you see, there is a theme on how these factors can change things for plants and animals. Migration is one response to change. Unlike plants, animals can move when faced with extreme temperatures, rainfall, or sunlight changes. Some species migrate, which is seasonal movement of animals from one place to another. They migrate long distances to a warmer climate during winter. The monarch butterfly that migrates in winter to central Mexico, or the humpback whale that travel toward the poles during the summer, and the equator in the winter are two examples of migrating species. Other examples of migrating animals that escape winter hardships are elk and buffalo. And you can see a little migration map on the right side of the humpback whale and the monarch butterfly. Dormancy and hibernation are special responses to seasonal changes. Warm-blooded animals have a special challenge in responding to freezing winter temperatures, decreased sunlight, and decline in precipitation, which leads to less water to drink. Animals respond with varying degrees of dormancy or inactivity. Small mammals have the ability to drastically reduce their body temperature and slow down their heart rates in a deep sleep type of dormancy called hibernation. This extreme decrease in activity by animals like ground squirrels and bats allows their bodies to conserve energy to survive winter weather, the lack of food, and reduction of water during that time. Bears also hibernate, but to a lesser degree since their body temperatures do not decrease dramatically, and they can be awakened more easily. Some animals simply slow down without decreasing their heart rate or body temperature and have a period of minimal dormancy during winter months like the skunk, raccoon, or possum. And you have a little diagram of that to the side as well. These are the main three: migration, dormancy, and hibernation. Just a little bit lesser information broken down for you. So we have migration, which is animals migrate or move to a new location in search of food, water, a mate, or a different temperature. This happens at different times of the years and in different seasons for different animals. They need that food, they need a place to have their babies, or they need better weather, so they'll go. And usually, once their weather changes again, they'll migrate back to where they had originally came from. You have hibernation. Hibernation is a type of winter dormancy that involves slowed metabolic, heart, and respiration rates. Only a few animals are true hibernators. For example, Arctic ground squirrels, little brown bats, chipmunks, hedgehogs, and woodchucks can significantly decrease their body temperatures to that of the surrounding air, even if the temperature is at or a little below 0 degrees Celsius. These animals are small and warm-blooded. Due to these two characteristics, the animals are able to raise their body temperature enough to awaken every few weeks. They will eat and drink a little and then return to a state of true hibernation. And this usually happens during those cold months so that they can get past those months, and when it gets warm, they come out from hibernation. Then you have dormancy. Dormancy is a state of inactivity due to a slowed metabolic rate as a result of harsh environmental factors such as lack of water, food, or decreased temperature or amount of daylight. If plants become inactive or slow their growth, they are considered dormant. Inactive animals can also be considered dormant in a variety of ways. So that is everything about the environmental factors.